Hi Stitchy friends, my name is Laura and I'm the Curry Stitcher. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. It's been a while since I've seen you. Today is June 1st, 2021, and the last time I filmed was 56 stitching days ago. So I think it was Easter Sunday, so that was April 4th. Anyway, so let's just get right into stitching. First of all, let me say that nothing bad happened as to why I'm not here. I just am going to say that till the end in case people don't want to hear life updates, but it's all good. Nothing bad happened. In fact, some good things happened. So, but a lot of changes have happened in the last 2 months. So let's get right into stitching. I had 56 stitching days, and 12 of those days I did no stitching. It was what was going on, you know, didn't allow me to stitch a few days. And we also had, my husband and I had a bout with either allergies or something. I mean, it wasn't serious, but we didn't feel like, I didn't feel like stitching, headache, that kind of thing. So anyway, the first thing I want to show you is that the Prairie Schooler folk eggs, I finished the barn. This is my 4th in this series, and I plan to complete all 8, but I call every little finish a finish within a whip. So this is my finish within the work in progress. This has not been retired. It's still considered a whip. These are my other 3. So I've done 4. And it's real hard to record black because it wants to, it's looking for the light. Anyway, it blows it out. So, but these are very beautiful in person. The threads show up really good. That's a good one. It's a good picture of the bunnies. Anyway, so I stitched 1 day on that and finished it. And I'm not going to show before pictures because I'm having trouble with editing, like not editing, putting in show notes and editing is taking too long to do that. Our computer was recently repaired and the mouse doesn't act like it used to, and so like it'll jump somewhere when I'm trying to copy and paste. So any kind of notes, like last video, I don't think I even put notes, so any kind of notes will be very brief, and they may be on the screen. I'm just going to try and tell you what I stitched on. This is on 14 count black Ada 2/2 using the DMC threads that the pattern calls for. The next thing I want to show you is I stitched 4 days on the blue house, and I got a finish on it. But a lot of back stitching. I had some French knots. When I say 4 days, you know, if I don't stitch but 30 minutes, I still call that a day. I don't keep up with time. I just, if I touch it during the day, I call that, I've stitched on it a day. Also, if I touch 2 projects in a day, I will just pick one that I spent the most time on it and say I stitched a day on it. So this is, I'm saying this, I stitched on this 4 days, and it's Christmas Village Ornaments Gold Collection by Dimensions on 18 count ivory Ada included in the kit. It's mostly stitched 2/2, but there are tent stitches, there are blended threads, there are French knots, back stitching, so, but it's beautiful. Next one I do in the series, I think I'm going to start on the church, but next one I do in the series, I'm going to back stitch as I go. Like if I get below this window, I will back stitch the window. When I get the whole roof, I'll back stitch the roof, because it's very hard. It's not hard to see, but it's hard to be confident that you found all the little back stitching lines. It's so heavily back stitched, and it does make it come to life, and I love it. There's a lot of work in these, and I'm probably going to send them off to be professionally finished, because even though they're small, they're an odd shape. They're not just a square, and they're a lot of work. I'm very proud of it. I'm tickled with this. Anyway, beautiful. The next project, and I think I mentioned I stitched 4 days on that. The next project I stitched 5 days on, and it's gathering eggs. And it was in a cross stitch magazine from, I think it was April 1998. Anyway, that's Nora Corbett's Gathering Eggs. And Dina and I are stitching this together, but she's way ahead of me, and but I participated in a game she was playing called Easter Egg Roll, where you roll the dice, and whatever number comes up, you multiply that by 100 and put that many stitches in. And she rolled every Monday, and we took turns rolling. So I think I participated 4 weeks on this, and it's the first time I had counted stitches. So let me tell you how many stitches. 1,742 stitches over about 5 days. Okay, and let me tell you what I was stitched on. Okay, 32 count natural linen from Hobby Lobby, 2/2 using the called for DMC. And then I stitched 19 days. I really pushed for finish on this next piece. I can't find my pattern, so I can't show you the chart, but I'll show you the finished piece, and I think most of y'all will remember this chart. But it's April by Prairie Schooler. Pamela Bird Smith is the designer. It's stitched on 28 count white Monaco, antique white Monaco. I was going, that's not white. It's antique white Monaco. Stitched 2/2 using call for DMC. I did change something on this. Everything's called for, and this is called for, but in a different part of the chart, like it's separate. This part that went here was a white bunny, and it had a black background, and I just changed it to the brown bunny. Anyway, it's beautiful. I love this. I was inspired to stitch this by Sharon, Magnolia Nana, and Nell at Little Yellow House Crafts. Yes, that's her name. Anyway, they're two very gentle, sweet ladies that I love to follow on Flosstube. So I'm sure most of y'all know who I'm talking about, but I may put their names here on the screen since the show notes are so hard for me to do lately. The next thing I want to show you is, and I'm going to have to insert a picture here of what the stocking looks like, but it's my youngest grandchild's stocking. I worked 3 days on it. It's sampler stocking number 4, and it's my youngest grandchild. The designer is Mary Beale. It's stitched on 25 count bone Lugana, stitch 2/2 using the called for DMC. And this is where I am. Like I say, I'm not going to show before pictures because I need to get this video up. I don't want to bore y'all to death. But I stitched the numbers and the alphabet. And this is a pleasure to work on. I kind of put it aside during the month of May. I stitched on it a little bit, you know, stitched on that one a little bit in April. But I plan to get back into it as we go into the summer. I'm going to stitch some Christmas definitely in July. My Jolly July plans may include a rotation of just those stockings. But the next thing I need to show you is Tiny Tidings by Lizzie Kate. I'm doing all 5 of these individually. I'm not doing this one, but I'm doing all 5. To make little pillows or flat folds or something for the 3-tier tray. I've got 4 of them done. I worked 1 day, so I start and finish it the same day. These are quick and easy, tiny. So I stitched 1 day on the reindeer, Be Bright, and 1 day on the snowman, Be Warm. And I had the elf, Be Jolly, and the Santa, Be Merry. So the only thing left is Mrs. Santa. She's, I think she's Be Sweet. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm stitching this on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco that I did not dye myself. It came this way. I think I got this Monaco from the Fat Quarter Shop. But the white really pops on that. I'm real happy with the way those look. I'm using the DMC threads. I think there's Fancy Floss is called for, but she provides the DMC alternative. So I'm using the DMC. The next thing I need to show you is Hattie Hedgehog. These are complimentary designs by Brooke Nolan, found on her website, Brooks Books Publishing. And these are the cutest things, and they're complimentary, and I thoroughly enjoy stitching them, and they're the right amount of cuteness for Christmas. This is Hattie Hedgehog. I could be wrong about this, but I didn't know what a hedgehog was. Excuse me. I did not know what a hedgehog was, so I looked it up, and they have them in England and Africa and somewhere else. But I did not see that we had them in the United States. They're spiny like porcupines, but they're cute little animals with little like pig noses. I guess that's why they call them hogs, because their noses are reminiscent of a pig's. Anyway, she's cute, holding a present, teacup on her head, teapot. So she's an English hedgehog. Anyway, I stitched 5 days on that. So that's a finish within a whip, because I plan on doing all 25. The next thing, and almost the last thing, I got one more thing past this one, but Stars and Stripes by the Prairie Schooler. I stitched George Washington, and I stitched on this 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. And it is stitched on 28 count Legacy Cashel Linen by Picture This Plus. Stitched 2/2 using the Call for DMC threads. This is it. This huge piece of linen is 25 by 30, no, 26 by 35. And the reason I got it was I was going to stitch his eye is on the Sparrow 1/1 on this, because they did not have 28 count doubloon. And 28 count doubloon is what it is called for, but she was stitching 1/2 threads, and the design was going to be huge. So my solution to that was to stitch it 1/1 on 28 count, but I didn't like how my stitches laid, so I just you know, scrap that, and I'm going to use this fabric for other things. But I thought that would look real good on the, you know, the antique-y looking colors of this. The blue is not a royal blue, but it's not a navy either, and the red is like a burgundy red. And I was debating, like, do I really think those are real patriotic colors? You know, because the flag has a navy, you know, a deeper blue, but the red is a little bit brighter. I've seen it both ways though, but I like the way this looks, so I'm going to call that a finish, and I'm going to proceed. That red is 815. That's the called for red, and I think the blue might be 803. And of course, that's 898 brown. But I think I want to do all 8 of those. So, but I call that a finish within a whip. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. I may do that whale. I think it says sea to shining sea, and I like that. So I might do that one next. I also like the eagle. So anyway, but that's my patriotic stitching. Yesterday was Memorial Day here in the United States, and we remember servicemen and women that sacrificed their life for our freedom. And we also have a lot of fun, a lot of ball games, cookouts, that kind of thing. Bill and I had a very quiet day, but we went to the Waffle House and had breakfast, eggs and bacon, and you know, and it was nice to go in there because everybody was able to eat without a mask on. You know, Bill and I felt safe enough to do that. It's been a long time. I don't remember the last time that I ate at a diner, you know, so it was wonderful. The next thing is I started his eye on the Sparrow, so I'm saying one day, but there's no way this took all day. But I think I'm holding it right. That is my star. This is on 40 count doubloon, stitching with the call for Weeks and Classic Colorworks. Yes, no, I'm sorry. It's not Classic Colorworks, it's Gentle Arts. So it's stitched on, it's by Heartstring Samplery, Best Twist, and I downloaded the pattern, so I don't have a cover page to show you. Maybe I can find a picture on the internet to show you. But it's beautiful, but it's a beast. And I'm really looking forward to this. This will be a permanent, have a permanent home in my home on the wall. His Eye is on the Sparrow by Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. Anyway, I'm going to love that, but I didn't devote a ton of time to it because I need to get my grandchildren's stockings. So that's fixing to be my next focus, maybe into June and July. So, okay, this video is about 21 minutes in, and I've showed you everything I've worked on in the last 56 stitching days, of which I did not stitch 12 of those. So if you're thank you for joining me. If you want to hear about the life update, I'll stick around. I'll be happy to share with you what's going on with this. So, two things I want to tell y'all about. One is that we did get somebody to cut our trees down, and it is making a drastic change in the landscape. I'm looking forward to planting flowers because we're going to have some spots, or most spots, on the part of the yard that has our house on it. So it's the front yard and the backyard, but we do have a side yard that has some shade. But the front yard and the backyard will be mostly sunny, and I'm really looking forward to flowers and grass, soft grass that my grandchildren can run around on. So that's a happy change, but I filmed this earlier, but there was so much noise with trucks and chainsaws and just the clatter. It looks like a construction site here. So we're very excited that we're happy. We feel like the money's well spent, and that the person doing it knows what they're doing. And I'm looking out the window right now at the disaster. But it's they're cleaning it all up, and they're going to smooth it out, and they're going to put grass and hay down, so it'll look a lot better. Our job is going to be to water it for a while. So the other thing involves my household. Bill and I are empty nesters again. My daughter and her husband were planning to build. They have bought a lot, and they had a builder. And okay, so I paused to collect my thoughts, but so they had a builder, and they were calculating everything, and they thought it was going to cost a certain amount that they had a large cushion with, and that's really a good idea anytime you're building, but especially in this environment when lumber prices are very, very high, and delivery, like people being backed up from not doing anything during the pandemic to, now they're being called a lot. So they were at the top of their budget in a very uncertain environment, so they pulled the plug on that, and they were very disappointed. As you can imagine, my son-in-law is an engineer, and he was really looking forward to building his own home and making sure things were done right. And you know, I mean, we all felt for him the most. My daughter was just looking at other houses. She was like, okay, on to the next plan B. And so while they had their lot, a neighbor, and we were visiting their lot. I was with them, and Bill was with them. But while we were visiting their lot, a neighbor came over and said, the house across the street just sold for such and such amount of money. And my daughter and her husband were delighted, because that meant they were going to have no trouble getting the money for the, you know, the draws, the construction loan. And so they were delighted at how much it sold for. And that house was sold. Okay, when they decided to nix their plans, it was because they were at the top of their budget. And so my daughter was looking at houses, and that house was back on the market. And my daughter was like, is that the house? And it was, because we knew the address, and it was the house that had sold. That deal fell through, and I think it was pandemic related. The person that bought it was called back into the office and didn't need to be that far away from his work. And so those sellers were dealing with, we had our house sold, now we don't. And so they put their house back on the market for just slightly more than what it had sold for. But it was within range for my daughter and her husband. So when they looked at it, they knew that's where they wanted to live. They didn't waste any time. They told the real estate agent, we want to put in an offer, and they accepted the offer, and they were moving in within a month. So they are in a nice house in the neighborhood that they were going to build in, and they could not have built that house for what they paid for it. So I feel like it's a blessing, and we're very thankful. My daughter and her husband are thankful. Bill and I are thankful. We miss them, but they are closer than they were. And they're not, I don't have to drive through Atlanta traffic to see them. So those are the two things that, that have kept us, you know, kept me busy. There was a lot of babysitting while they packed up little stuff, and my son-in-law's parents are, they have trucks, and they're hard workers, and they're a little bit younger than Bill and myself, and they helped, and his brother helped. My brother helped. You know, they just got them in their house really nicely. So everybody's happy. My granddaughter loves her bedroom. My grandson, I'm told, he plays all over the house. In other words, he finds a clear spot and messes that up. He goes to another one, messes that up. But my granddaughter, she pretty much likes her room. But that's pretty typical, I think, that they love it. And they have plenty of room to spread out. And I'm counting on my daughter hosting some family get-togethers where we're packed in my house, and her house will be comfortable. So I'm excited for that. And I just want to thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all have had a healthy and happy last 2 months. Hopefully it won't take me as long to get back to y'all. I don't like having this much to show you. I would prefer to be, you know, 1 or 2 pieces, not a whole stack of, you know, things. But anyway, thank y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.